They didn't keep you with love. They kept you with confusion. One day, you felt chosen. The next, discarded. And somehow, that made you want them more. You kept replaying everything in your head. The good moments. The way they looked at you in the beginning. The late-night conversations. The intensity. The connection. Because when it was good, it felt unreal. Like finally being seen. Finally understood. Finally loved in a way nobody else had loved you before. But slowly, something changed. The warmth became distance. The reassurance became silence. The affection became unpredictable. And that unpredictability became the trap. You started chasing small things. A text back. A compliment. A good day. One moment where they acted like the person you first met. And every time they gave it to you, you felt relief. Not happiness. Relief. That's how narcissists keep you hooked. Not through constant love. Through emotional withdrawal. They create starvation. Then feed you just enough to keep you attached. You weren't addicted to them. You were addicted to the hope of getting them back. Back to who they pretended to be. Because the version of them you loved was usually the version designed to capture you. They studied your wounds. Your loneliness. Your empathy. Your need to feel safe. And then they became exactly what you were missing. Not accidentally. Strategically. That's why the beginning felt so intense. It moved too fast. Too deep. Too perfect. They mirrored you. Your values. Your dreams. Your pain. It felt like destiny. But it wasn't intimacy. It was observation. And once they knew you were emotionally attached, the cycle began. Distance. Affection. Coldness. Attention. Punishment. Reward. Again. And again. And again. Until your nervous system stopped recognizing peace as love. You became hyper-aware. Reading their tone. Watching their mood. Trying not to upset them. Trying to earn back the version of them that disappeared. You thought if you loved harder, communicated better, stayed calmer, they would come back. But the truth is, they were never really gone. The cruelty was part of the relationship too. That's the part most people struggle to accept. Because admitting that means realizing the pain wasn't a misunderstanding. It was part of the design. The confusion kept you emotionally dependent. The inconsistency kept you anxious. And anxiety creates attachment. Especially when moments of affection are mixed with emotional pain. That's not love. That's conditioning. You weren't weak for staying. Your brain was adapting to emotional survival. You kept waiting for clarity from the same person creating the confusion. And that's what narcissistic control does. It disconnects you from your own reality. You stop trusting your instincts, your memory, your emotions. You start trusting their version instead. Maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I overreacted. Maybe it really is my fault. And slowly, you abandon yourself trying to keep them. That's why leaving felt unbearable. Not because they were your soulmate. Because they trained your nervous system to associate love with emotional instability. So when peace finally arrived, it felt empty at first. Quiet. Unfamiliar. Almost wrong. Because chaos had become your normal. But eventually, you start seeing things differently. You realize love should not leave you constantly anxious. It should not make you afraid to speak. It should not feel like an emotional test you keep failing. Real love does not confuse you into silence. And the moment you stop chasing the version of them that never truly existed, the hold begins to break. Because the hardest truth is this. You were grieving someone who was only real in the beginning long enough to make you stay.